There are not a lot of games where you can obtain a fantastic weapon right around the beginning. But Terraria doesn't shy away from making you go crazy with a minigun-shaped shark... Shark-shaped minigun right at the start of the game. I remember when I first played the game and saw a damn Minishark arms dealer's inventory and kept drooling over it until I gathered enough gold to buy it. And boy, if it is fun to suddenly have a weapon that costs 400k to fire for 12 seconds. It is only the first few hours of the game and you go from pew pew to ratatatatata and there is no feeling like getting a Minishark for the first time. But of course ratata can only do so much if you don't have enough damage with it. And when you start learning more about the mechanics of Terraria, namely the damage calculation and defense numbers, you might consider all these may not be that powerful. All things considered, Minishark is an absolutely fun early game weapon, but how does it fare in actual DPS? Let's test it out and see what this fish ratatouille can do. A whole lot of you already know how to obtain this weapon, but let's quickly go over it. You can buy Minishark from the arms dealer NPC, and to get him you need to at least have a gun or bullet in your inventory, and of course a suitable house. The simplest way to get a gun is to smash a single evil biome orb or heart to drop their guns. When the arms dealer moves in, you can purchase Minishark from him for 35 golds. Make the dude happy by moving him to the desert with nurse and it drops to 27 golds. Much more obtainable for early game. And as early game it is, you can get Minishark before killing any boss, so the weapon goes to early pro hard mode in the progression line. The good old reliable Minishark. There is not a whole lot to talk about it, except to say it gets the job done. Its base damage is pretty low, but it makes up with super high attack speed. In fact, it is one of the fastest ranged weapons. This of course lets you ramp up your damage easily in early game and keep a stable DPS on bosses even if you don't aim perfectly. It is no wonder Minishark is so popular when it fires like a mad dog and lets you keep your hits on the enemy. So the base damage of Minishark is low, right? Indeed, with a damage number of 6 it doesn't show a huge promise, but Terraria's item descriptions can be a bit misleading, especially for understanding the DPS. So before moving on to taking any boss, how about we do a quick test with the dummies. To cut the story short, Minishark is the clear winner. Surprising, but it is actually stronger than the biggest contender Boomstick. This shows the great potential of the weapon, but in the end we only hit a dummy with no armor. Let's change our target to see what I'm talking about. Skeletons show up a bit later in the game, but for this test they have a good defense score of 8, which means they take 4 damage less from each hit. Quick hitting weapons like Minishark suffer from this mechanic much more compared to slow but high hitters like Musket. Here I am not wearing any armors or accessories and the weapons have no modifiers. With that in mind, the DPS of Minishark fell to nearly 2/3 of its original value while Musket didn't get affected as much. But of course, you can somewhat negate the damage reduction of Minishark by increasing your damage and using armor penetration, especially the shark tooth necklace which I will be using in the boss damage test. Before comparing any weapon, I wanted to see the raw potential of the weapon, so I went and murdered the Slime King, Eye of Cthulhu and Eater of Worlds with Minishark. The first 2 bosses went down pretty quickly and I had a lot of fun using Minishark on them, but the time for Eater of Worlds doesn't look that amazing. Of course, since it's not a pierce weapon, I wasn't expecting a super quick kill, but let's go and see what we can do with other weapons. For the comparison with other items, I of course chose ranged weapons from the same progression point, which are Demon Bow, Musket and Boomstick. To add a bit more fun to it, we will also be testing Shuriken and Paintball Gun. And if we are fighting Eater of Worlds with a bow, it would be unfair to not include a Jester's Arrow build, so just to see the difference I will also be testing that. Right off the bat with a Fire Arrow Demon Ball build and damn it's horrible. I was hoping the burn would do more damage, but if you want to see a good burn just go watch the first video in the series. Paintball Gun unfortunately didn't do as good damage as I hoped, though it is still the most fun weapon in the list. If you want to see a Paintball Gun focused video, let me know in the comments. Musket has good damage, but it is just too slow to fire and loses to Minishark in this test, which shows us that Minishark is still a pretty good weapon at this point. Shurikens, thanks to their piercing, had a better time than Minishark. I have used 640 shurikens for the boss, which is a bit more than 9 gold. If all you want to do is to kill Eater of Worlds, shurikens are the way to go compared to the Minishark's cost of 35 gold. Boomstick is a bit of a progression skipper since jungle is usually meant to be explored a bit later in the game, but if you dare to get in and grab yourself this gun, you will have a much better time than Minishark with it. Normally I should end the list here, but as I said before, we need to see the true power of Pierce. And as expected, Jester Sarrows give us a way below time compared to all others. It's funny to see Demon's Bow being on two extremes of the list, but if you want to trivialize the boss, just grab yourself 20 fallen stars, craft the arrows, and you are good to go. Minishark is one of the iconic weapons of Terraria. It was a go-to item in early days of the game and is still loved and used wildly. Enemy defense stats hurt it a bit of course, but it's not a problem that can't be solved, and if you wanna use it, just go wild with it. I love items that have more attack speed than damage compared to the other way around, so something like Minishark is always going to be useful in my playthroughs, but how about you? Do you always choose the Ratata for your daily problems, or it is way past its glory days for you? Let me know in the comments, and thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe for more Terraria content. See you in the next video, and as always, have a great day.